Welcome to the CRC Networking Training. It is a joy to be here with you all today, and my name is Leanne O'Shea from Leaders Being Leaders. I encourage you to be open to learning something new today. Today we're going to be discussing networking, a very valuable way of living. It applies to all areas of your life, not just in business. And trust me, when you learn to love meeting people, being authentic and naturally you will be rewarded in so many ways. So I will often remind you throughout the series that your effectiveness as a leader is influenced by many choices, and whatever you do in life, completely affected by whom you choose to be in each moment. So I hope you've printed off the workbook and you have your task sheets in front of you. I encourage you to take notes, and don't forget to dial in at the end of our session today to ask any questions that you have. We also have an email address, so if you think of anything between now and our next series, please email me, and I'll look forward to covering any topics that relate to you and the workplace. So let's look at networking today. The networking world is open to everyone, without exception, as long as your networking values are strong, ethical, transparent, and on purpose. Communication doesn't start and stop at the employment doorstep. Networking really does apply to every area of your life. I encourage you to weave networking and strong communication throughout your life, embracing these skills 24/7. So make connections, build relationships, transact business, have fun, form friendships, learn, teach others, and also learn some more. So I'm very personally passionate about this subject. I also like to call it the power of connection. Your life will be so enriched when you value connecting with others. So networking is a life skill, and rather than something that you do only when you want something, network is to really build relationships and learn from others. At work, at home, going about your day or weekend. Every moment is an opportunity to connect with other people and express who you are. Be real, be you, and then feel the energy of your truth. When you are real, you encourage those around you to be real also. It is a real connection, will last for a very long time. So networking is about making connections and building relationships that are mutually beneficial. Your relationship with others will be deeper and more meaningful when you know who you are, what you desire, and what you need to reach your potential. The more self-aware you are, the more effective you will be as a leader, as a networker, and also as a person. You are personally responsible to get what you need to ensure your own success. For example, if you need more challenging tasks at work, ask your supervisor. Tell them that you are ready to take on more responsibility. Ask for what you need and grow. So identify what you need, determine what can help you to get there, ask for what you need. You are responsible for getting what you need, and network to expand the people who can help you to get what you need. When you have self-awareness, you know what you need, and you know what you need to have the confidence to ask for it. Networking is not just handing out business cards. Building influence means having a presence. People are aware of the qualities in you because of the way you present yourself, and therefore having an influence on people is about who you are being. It's about building your reputation based on who you are. If you hate the idea of networking, you may wish to question why you're in customer service. Understanding that networking is a presence of who you are with everyone, inside work and also outside of the workplace. So right now, I'm networking with you all. I'm also networking with all of your networks, because if something I say resonates with you, then you are going to share it with the people that you know. So let's look at networking a little bit further. Networking happens in the workplace, in your community, when you're out socially, in sporting groups, with friends and family, everyday connections, even when you go to collect the mail, your customers, work colleagues, and even social media. Once you have made the connections, it is vital to maintain it. Follow up with your new connections ASAP. Thank them for the conversations and keep in touch. How many of you have kept in touch with some of the other trainees that you met at the conference about a month ago? I encourage you to send an email and just let them know that it was great to meet up with them and how much you enjoyed the conference. Also, connect on social media to help maintain connections with as many people as you can at once. So we all do communicate in different ways because we all have unique personalities. So some of you are outgoing, some of you are introverted or shy, and some of you are actually naturally funny, but some of you may be serious as well. We want you to be the best you, remember? So is it about making an impact? Some of us like to talk a lot, but some of us prefer to listen and just take it all in. So let's look at creating a powerful first impression. Are you being authentic? Are you being the true you? Are you being positive? Do you have a smile on your face? Are you happy to be there? Do you communicate confidently? Powerful first impressions are those that show you are self-assured, competent, and purposeful. Always establish eye contact with the people you are talking to. Shake hands firmly. Speak in a deliberate and purpose way. And many of you probably haven't heard of the Be, Do, Have principle, but it's something that I wanted to share with you in this series. Because what is it that you want? Practice being the type of person who has those things. Start doing the activities that lead to the results, and then you'll have all that you want. So you've got to be before you can do, and do before you can have. So networking really does come back to your self-awareness and being comfortable with who you are, and respecting and enjoying the opinions of others. When you ask another person about themselves, when you draw them out, you help them to express themselves in an authentic way. The more you do this, the more your connections will be meaningful. Remember that not everyone will like you, and guess what? That's okay. The power of networking. Well, when you're really clear on your own values and vision for yourself, you will naturally be interested in others. You will align yourself with like-minded people who will want to assist you to reach your potential as you assist them to reach theirs. So some of the principles of networking is the law of abundance, the law of number 2, and the law of giving without expectation is number 3. So the law of abundance, let's look at that. That's an opportunity that exists in abundance for everyone. Ideas, clients, customers, projects, money, possibilities, creativity, jobs, and anything else you desire is available to anyone who chooses it for themselves. Networkers with an abundance consciousness attract positive connections. Successful networkers really do believe that what they provide to others will come back to them tenfold. The law of giving without expectation. Networking is about giving to support another in achieving their goals, not because you want something in return. So let's talk about heart-to-heart connections. Meet others with the intention of drawing out their qualities. Enjoy giving and sharing. Ask for their opinion, ideas and resources to help you get to what you want and what you need. Are you someone that people can trust, or do you trust others? People trust you and you trust them. When those three elements are in place, first you need to be a person of character. Character is the first element. Honest, sincere and respectful are all traits of someone who has character. The second is you need to be competent. You may be a person of character, but if I'm not bringing my car to you to fix it, you'd better be competent too if I'm going to trust you. You can't fake competence. You either have the knowledge or skills or you don't. Be honest. Don't pretend to be something that you are not. Last, you need to be consistent, so over time and across situations. So can people trust you? Do you have character? Are you competent? And are you consistent? Empowering others. Share information and resources. Create a synergy of working together. Now, synergy is synchronised energy. It's the fusion of two energies, which is much more powerful than individual energies. Role modelling. Aspire to be like the people that inspire you. Watch their behaviour and their results. What feels right to you, but be you. Do it in your own way. So we're now going to work on task 1, and task 1 is what are the traits of a networking role model? Start to write down some of those traits in your workbook. In the last session, we looked at the qualities of a leader, in which of those qualities you want to develop in yourself. Well, today we're going to be looking at the qualities of a networking role model. So what are the traits of a great role model? You may have forgiveness, self-belief. Do you have persistence, passion, consistency? It's important to give you the time to write a few down, so we'll just wait a little bit longer. Kindness, authentic. Taking personal responsibility, determination. What about non-judgmental or a sense of fun? Make sure you come back to this activity in a couple of weeks' time. Talk to your work colleagues, your manager, friends and families, and see how many more you can add to your list. Let's move on and let's talk about strategic alliance. Having a strategy means knowing what steps to take and in what order. First, know your objective. Second, align yourself with people who are already where you want to be. Third, collaborate with them. Connect, share information and resources, communicate, develop your relationship with them. Fourth, be sure to listen, learn and grow from your alliances. So what is it to be a part of a mastermind group? A mastermind group requires a meeting of like-minded people. The purpose of the group is to share ideas and insights, provide emotional, personal and professional support, and discuss meaningful topics. So the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. So we really do become like the people we associate ourselves with. We can learn from and influence the people we spend most of our time with. Choose your mastermind partners well. Take advice from people who have the results that you want for yourself. Develop mentoring relationships. Hang out with goal-orientated people who take responsibility for where they are now and accountability for where they are headed. Spend time with people who are positive and successful and be inspired by their attitude. The teacher really does appear when the student is ready. The teacher keeps showing up until the lesson is learnt. Every person you meet really does reflect a part of you. Everyone that you meet can teach you something new. So we encourage you to join our Facebook page and connect with positive, like-minded people. But I also encourage you to join the Trainees private Facebook group and connect with many trainees from across the state, learn something new, hear what they're implementing and what's working for them. So what are some of the habits of becoming a networker of influence? Are you walking your talk? Let's look at a few. Networking really is a skill to maintain in life. Remember, whether you're at the sporting complex, at the post office, talking to customers, everyone that comes into your life you are networking with, and they really can make a difference for you, just like you can make a difference for them. Nurture your connections, value them, and provide value to them. Be authentic, be present, always carry business cards and use a name tag. Network with the people who work with your connections, share information and ideas, network with people that you admire, mastermind, learn and grow with others, listen more and talk less. So what are competent networkers? They're active listeners. They build rapport, understand empathy. They have excellent interpersonal skills. They are authentic. They love to have fun, and they maintain personal friendships with work associates and seek relationships that are mutually beneficial. Not all networking is done face-to-face, and it's important to remember that. Online networking can be extremely powerful through social media, emails. Connect with like-minded people through online groups and pages on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Form your own focus group. What are you doing in the community to connect with like-minded people? Join groups and pages of interest and visit pages that you have liked or aligned with to add to your connections. So now let's look at interpersonal skills. It's important to understand verbal and non-verbal communication. Improving all these interpersonal skills will improve your ability to network effectively. Self-reflection. Are you aware that this is task 2? So let's look at task 2, which is a handout you would have received, and it's on self-reflection. This task really does encourage you to assess your interpersonal communication skills. So effective communication requires openness, empathy, positiveness, confidence, flexibility, and authenticity. So if you refer to the handout, the scales that you're going to use is 1, always and almost always true, 2, frequently true, 3, sometimes true, 4, rarely true, and 5, never or almost never true. So let's look at some of the questions, and I'll give you the time to put a number against it. So in your communication, Are you willing to reveal yourself to others? Is it a 1, a 2, 3, 4 or 5? So again, number 1, in your communication, are you willing to reveal yourself to others? Number 2, when communicating, do you feel what the other person is feeling? 1, always, or almost always true. Number 2, frequently true. Number 3, sometimes true. Number 4, rarely true. Or number 5, never or almost never true. Question number 3. In your interpersonal interactions, do you describe rather than evaluate? Or do you state your views tentatively rather than with certainty? So again, question number 3. In your interpersonal interactions, do you describe rather than evaluate? Do you state your views tentatively rather than with certainty? Let's move on to question 4. Do you express positive attitudes and compliment the person with who you are communicating with? Let me repeat that again. Do you express positive attitudes and do you compliment the person who you are communicating with? Are you confident? And do you communicate with confidence in your interpersonal reactions? So number 6, always or almost always true, or frequently true, sometimes true, rarely true, never or almost never true. What score are you putting next to that one? Let's look at number 7. Do you communicate with a sense of togetherness or of oneness with your listeners? Do you communicate with a sense of togetherness or oneness with your listeners? Let's look at number 8. Do you manage the interpersonal communication situation to both your own and the other person's satisfaction? So do you manage the interpersonal communication situation to both that of your own and the other person's satisfaction? Let's look at number 9. Do you communicate with genuine involvement in the interpersonal interaction? Are you genuine when you interact with others? And the last one, do you adapt to the needs of other people rather than just considering your own needs during the interaction? Let's just repeat question number 10 one more time. Do you adapt to the needs of other people rather than just considering your own needs during the interaction? Now what I want you to do at the end is I want you to add up all the scores, and as you can see from your task sheet, once you've got a score, it really does allow you to reflect on who you're being when you're communicating with other people. So maybe just put that aside and come back to it later once you've added up your score, and you can finish reading through what your score is, and yeah, just take a look and see how you can communicate better with other people. So let's move on from task 2. So words are powerful tools of communication. Choosing your words can easily influence the thoughts, attitudes and behaviours of the people listening to you. In the same way, proper attention to the language of others gives us insight into what is that they are really trying to say, helping us to respond appropriately and also effectively. To network effectively, it is really important to improve verbal communication, such as listening, asking questions, and communicating with power. Do you understand what it means to have humility? Humility is networking is mutually beneficial, especially when we approach from a point of view of how can you help me, rather than here is what I can do for you. Most of us are too busy thinking about what we want to say next to listen fully to another person, and we miss the learnings. Know that you have something to learn from another is being humble. Let me repeat that again. Knowing that you have something to learn from another is being humble. So communicating with power, use your interpersonal and communication skills for improved communication, self-disclosure, self-confidence, self-esteem, showing empathy, building rapport, active listening, influence and assertiveness. So the next slide, we're going to look at the 4 levels of conversation. Really, the power of networking is maintaining the connections. So how many of you reconnected with people from the conference? Do you remember speaking with many? I'm sure it started off looking like this, just small talk. And then you talked about a few things that were fact in regards to the workplace or the conference itself. Then you started sharing opinions. But where the real benefits at networking start is sharing your own personal opinions. So I wanted to share with you, nobody is a nobody. When you connect with the lady at the post office and you don't know who her connections are, well, you also don't know who her connections are connected to. Remember that everyone you speak to can have an influence in your life. Nobody certainly is a nobody. Remember that everyone is somebody, somewhere. So in summary, I want you to network every day in every way. Use active listening. Don't talk yourself up. Encourage the other person to talk themselves up. Be willing to share when asked. Communicate effectively. Focus. Ask for information. And understand the true benefits of networking and see where you network in every area of life. So I wanted to share with you some recommended books to read that I'm sure that you'll get a lot from. And the first one is Working with Emotional Intelligence. The second is Think and Grow Rich. The fourth is The Power of Focus. And the next one is The 4 Agreements. Some of them I have shared with you earlier, but you will all get something from these books, not only personally, but to use professionally in the workplace. And the last 3 are The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and Something More, Excavating Your Authentic Self. And you know how much I love that word, being authentic. And the last one, The Power of Networking by Robin Henderson. If you only choose to read one of those books, I can guarantee that you will learn something new and implement it into your life. So thanks for joining us today. Today we've been talking about networking. And the next Trainee Broadcast is going to be on the 26th of October. And the topic that we're going to be discussing is teamwork. So I look forward to seeing you then. I just wanted to share with you again the books that I recommend that you read. The first one is Working with Emotional Intelligence. Some of you would have done the Emotional Intelligence workshop at the conference. If you enjoyed it and found it to be very valuable, I encourage you to read this book. The next one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, another great book. The next one is The Power of Focus but my absolute favourite book is The 4 Agreements. And one of the agreements is one of them is not to interpret anything, and the second is to not take anything personally. When you can really embrace that into your life and the workplace, I can guarantee you will have so much more fun in life. So I encourage you to pick up that book, but the 4th agreement is don't take anything personally. Let's look at the other books, is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Something more, excavating your authentic self. And you know how much I love being authentic. And the last one is The Power of Networking by Robin Henderson. So I just quickly wanted to share with you, I have so many great stories how networking in everyday life, not just in business, but embracing networking in every area of life has really benefited me. But I'm sitting here today with you all because I was asked to be a guest speaker at a business luncheon, and I just shared with them authentically about things that I'm passionate about. I wasn't aware of who was in the audience, and I wasn't there to benefit in any way. I was there just to share with a group of like-minded people. Well, one of the attendants of that workshop loved it so much that she rang and asked if I would be happy to be the trainer of this series. So I had no idea what I was going to attract in my life by just being my authentic self. So remember, when you're talking to people in the community, in the workplace, or in your own interests, you just don't know where that's going to lead. So let's finish it off just looking at our last slide. I just want you to understand and embrace networking. So go back through your workbook, read it in your own time, take in a little bit more. I promise, if you understand networking, it will reward you in so many ways. So thanks for joining us. I look forward to connecting with you again in our next series. We're going to be talking about teamwork, so make sure you're here. And again, email anytime with any questions. Enjoy your day.